The SIOP model begins with lesson preparation. During the preparation, you would need to start with finding two objectives, a language objective and a content objective. This is when you prepare supplies needed to address all learning styles. Different strategies are prepared for by collecting a number of different items. For example, you can use audio text, outlines, graphic organizers, and many more. The second component of the SIOP model would be to build background knowledge. At this time, in planning a lesson, you should be getting the kids to understand new information based on what they already know. This can be done by connecting new vocabulary to similar words that they already know. You can do this by letting them make up definition for words by using words they are familiar with. The main idea of this component is relating new content to content learned earlier in the year or previous years. We want to have students making connections between new concepts and previous knowledge. Next is the comprehensible input component. This component is part where you are giving exact directions, modeling, and scaffolding. The students should be answering questions and interacting with the teacher or other students. This is when you are clarifying what objectives will be covered and how. You will be demonstrating how connections will be made. At the end of this time, you should be checking with students to make sure the objectives have been met. This is usually done quickly by a thumbs up, head nod, or quick response. The fourth component of the SIOP model is the strategies used in sheltered instruction. These strategies are to be used to get students more engaged in the lesson. The more engaged the students are, the more they will learn. They should be strategies that are used to direct students using scaffolding and higher level thinking questions. It would be ideal for the students to be able to ask and answer higher level questions. The fifth component of the model is interaction. Interaction is defined as both interaction between students and interaction between teacher and students. You should make yourself available to assist students when needed, but not directly guide them. Interaction between students should be done in cooperative learning groups or in partners. The group should have an even mix of native speakers and ELL students, when possible. The sixth component in the model is practice and application. During this time in the lesson, the students should be working in their groups or on their own, applying any new skill learned. This would be the time that they would be doing hands-on activities or using manipulatives. This could be done with students who are working in centers or doing worksheets. They should still be interacting with students and the teacher to make sure that their application is correct. The seventh component is lesson delivery. When you are giving the lesson, you should have students engaged at least 90% of the time. This makes for a more effective lesson. The student should be covering all objectives listed in the lesson. This is where you want to make sure you are talking clearly, using appropriate words for your grade level, and are working at a pace that fits all of your learners. The eighth part of the lesson is review and assessment. During this part is when you would be checking for understanding amongst your students. They should be able to discuss what objectives were covered, and they should be able to paraphrase what they learned from the lesson. The assessment doesn't always have to be a formal assessment. Assessments can be as simple as a thumbs up, answering questions on whiteboards, or yes or no to answers.
Thank you for watching.